you are maybe watching the recording at a different timing, or you're joining this particular live session at a different time zone. I'm very excited to host you again for day four of the How to Attract High Paying Gigs Bootcamp. Over the last three classes, we've looked at LinkedIn optimization for day one. We've looked at building a strong portfolio website for day two. We explored building productivity systems for day three. And today we're going to look at how we can improve our personal brand, right? To help us attract those gigs that we want, right? Personal branding is more like your own personal marketing team. There's no company in the world today that builds products and just expect that people come to them, people just discover them. They usually would have a team that is dedicated to telling their story to ensure that the service that they offer, people who need those services are aware that they offer those services and they offer it excellently well, right? So your personal branding efforts is like your own personal marketing team where you have the opportunity to tell your story, tell tell how confident you are to the potential clients that are out there looking for the right people to interact with in terms of executing their different projects. And today, to take us on that journey, we have Isaac Nwachukwu. Isaac is like, I think I've been giving you guys spoilers since previous session. If you go on his Instagram page, you go on his Instagram handle, I think that's the Isaac Nwachukwu. There's underscore in between the Isaac Nwachukwu, somewhere in between that. I think so. You see all of the amazing contents that he creates where he takes a subject and he just like breaks it down in a way that is very easy to understand. Like he has built his personal brand in a way that he has learned a couple of stuff that you can learn from today. He's also a creative designer. He does brand design, anything brand design. You can learn that from him because he has like years of experience doing that. Both at ISEC, I think even after ISEC, currently at his organization, Human Squad. Right. So let's welcome Isaac Nwachukwu for a session on personal branding to help us attract high paying gigs. Isaac, you have the microphone. Thank you so much for making out time to be here. Yes.
Hi, Arinze. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Really excited to be here. And I don't know where Arinze got all those info, but some of them are not true. Just so you know. Maybe they are. I don't know. So yeah, good evening, everybody. If you can hear me, please unmute your mics and say something, or you can use the emoji. Just do something. It's good. Oh, hello. Samuel Ige, good evening. How you doing? So I see Adele on the call. Adele, good evening. Elizabeth, Samuel, Marvelous, Doreen, Charles Young, Jones.
Good evening, Isaac.
Good evening, Bolanle, Daniel, Nelson. Good evening, everybody. And I'm really, really actually excited that this is actually a small class. Very much excited about that because it's gonna be easier and more engaging, it's close to home. So I'm just going to share my screen right now and we're gonna begin. Let me know when you can see my screen. You should be seeing that now. Can you see my screen? I'm easy.
Yes, I can. I can see hello. I can see the hello.
All right, amazing. Just give me a second. Okay, so tonight I'm excited to be here, like I mentioned earlier, and it's a great privilege to be the one talking to young minds like yourself, young brilliant minds on personal branding. Personal branding is something that I take really personally because I see it as an avenue where a lot of people actually can position themselves for several opportunities aside the work space. It's just something that sets you apart from the ordinary person. right? People see you and then they can tell that there is stuff in you. People see you and then they can tell that, this particular person is unique. This particular person is not like the usual persons I meet on a day to day. You get what I'm saying? So imagine if you have five friends who have strong personal brands as well as yourself, obviously. Yeah. You can imagine what kind of network that would be for you. I mean, those guys are going to be really, really solid guys. Yeah. So let's like dive into it. And the topic for tonight is personal branding, like you already all know. So, quick one, I would just like to ask, and this is where I would need us to really cooperate. So, we're going to be using the raise hand feature. If you cannot talk wherever you are, just use the chat box, and I'll be reading from there as well. But if you can talk, please and please, and raise your hands. I call you, and then you talk, and we go like that. Is that fine? Cool. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, what do you understand by personal branding at first? So have that question in your mind while you answer this currently. Yeah. So would you want to be famous and why? If your answer is yes, you tell us why. If your answer is no, you still tell us why. All right. Who wants to go first? Who wants to go first? I'll call
So a
someone.
quick
No.
tip, yeah, a quick tip. You can actually call people. Very funny how I figured that out only in date. So if you call them, they respond. If you say wants to go first, nobody goes first. It's funny, but yeah, that has been working.
But I mean, you get to learn why you should actually go first in stuff like this. Here on this in this call. So you might want to start practicing even before we get there. So I'm going to ask again. I'm not going to call names. Who wants to go first? Amazing. Debbie Uluwaseun. Please share. Unmute your mic and talk.
Good evening, sir.
Good to, okay, another thing we should note, you can just say Isaac instead of sir, please. I like to not be called sir so that I don't sound old. You
Okay,
get
okay, sir.
Isaac is fine. Thank you.
I would want to be famous because for me to achieve my goals, I have to have this audience in which people to share me or people to impact. Yeah.
You want to build an audience where you can impact people. Amazing. Charles.
Yeah, hello, Isaac. Okay, so yes, I would want to be famous. My own reason is being famous actually would give me a platform to like raise awareness and also influence people. It also open doors like as well to like career opportunities and partnership.
Amazing.
And also when you're famous, you can also it also attract like connections as well with other influential people as well, which can actually help you build a very powerful network.
Amazing. So when you mentioned you want to be famous because you want to build awareness. Awareness for what?
Okay, so I'm a pharmacy student, so awareness in public health.
Okay. Okay. That's amazing. Thank you for the better context. So interesting one, which I really, really love from both of you. And I love one thing that is very similar to both of you, and that is impact. You guys are longing for impact, which is very, very good. Yeah. Debbie said she wants to be famous and in turn use her fame to impact others. And Charles wants to, do stuff in the public health sector, which is really, really good. Amazing stuff. And I really, really wish that you guys, achieve your dreams and fulfill that thing that is in your hearts to do. Amen. Yeah. So next thing is, what is branding? So most of the things we'll be doing here is you guys actually doing the talk. Let's hear what you have in your heads and let's talk together. It's a conversation. I am not teaching a class per se. We're going to have a conversation, and then we're going to see where the conversation leads. Yeah. So what do you think branding is? What's your idea of branding? Let me start with Charles, then Debbie will go, and then I'll take Samuel, then Young. Charles, you have the floor.
Okay, for me, a brand is like an image that people, associate with you based on like what you've been showing consistently, like through your actions, through your words, and through the content that you've been given.
Amazing how people see you through what you put out there. Interesting. Debbie, thank you very much, Charles.
Okay, what I understand as branding is what you want to be known for, what you want to stand for, that whenever they hear your name or whenever they hear your business, what's the image, what comes to their mind first.
Amazing. So what you want to be known for, that one thing where if I hear Debbie Oluwaseun, this is what comes to head first, or what comes to mind first. Interesting. Thank you very much. Samuel.
Yeah, what I actually understand about branding is about doing something that's uh like that stands unique, that makes you stand out from what other people actually do, like that makes you unique in a specific way. That's what I actually understand about branding.
Something that makes you unique in a
Yeah,
specific. Amazing.
yes, in a specific way that makes you stand out from the crowd.
Yeah, amazing. This person has run away. The other person ran away. All right. Okay, Young. Yeah, he's still here. Young. I don't know if you say he or she. Young.
Young is a EO. I didn't run away. I'm here.
Okay, amazing. All right.
What will I want to branding? Branding is image of of an organization or an individual. And branding comes in different forms. Okay, sometimes it could be in form of color, it could be in design, it could be in different shapes and formats. So they just want to stand out and be like other people have said and unique. It's like an image. So when you see this kind of brand, you will know that this is tending towards this particular organization. For example, if you see the design that GTB usually do in terms of their structure, you always know that it's like you already know that this type of structure is usually from GTB and like. So branding makes a particular organization or an individual business to stand out. Like you will know it's just unique. Let me not speak too much English.
Thank you for going the visual route. That's very, very impressive. Thank you very much for your contributions. Now, I want you guys to remember your answers because you're going to be answering the next question. And I want you to reflect on the answers you just gave for the next question. Is that fine? And see if your answers really, really apply to the next question. All right. So what is personal branding? We've talked about branding as a general idea. Now I'm bringing it home, right? What is personal branding? And you say something, you've talked about branding, but now let's bring it home and make it personal to you. What would you say is personal branding to you? All right, Kemisola.
I feel personal branding is how you want to be seen, in front of every and anybody. It's like kind of like your logo, the things that you do, the way you speak, the way you handle your relationships, the way you present yourselves to the public, basically. I feel that is personal branding. And then if you don't have a certain way you want to brand yourself personally, people can give you a brand. So people can name you with a specific kind of attitude or something. But then if you have a specific thing you want to portray, you can do that. That's like, I feel like that's personal branding, something you have to do consciously.
Really, really interesting answer. And I love how you brought personal branding to the internal factors and also the external factors, where if you fail to do something, people are still going to label you with something. I mean, if you fail to do nothing yet, people are going to still label you with something, and that's
Yes.
very, very profound. Thank you very much for that. Young.
Okay, let me contribute or say something close to what the last speaker said. So personal branding, like I said, what I said initially is part. I've already said some aspect of personal branding. So personal branding, sometimes you see people dress, you can identify certain people with the way they dress. It's just their style. That's how they want to be seen. It's already their signature. So personal branding can be like a signature. So it can come in form of dressing, it can come in form of the way they do their things. So you
Amazing.
already know that these are the
Yeah.
people. These are yeah. So thank you.
Personal branding can come in form of outlook, the way you dress. Interesting. Thank you very much,
I,
Young.
I want
Um,
to ask a quick question. I want to ask a quick question. So,
yeah.
from what has been said so far, are you guys trying to say that failure to brand is branding to fail? Ah, something like that.
I think that's a valid question, and I think we should take that at the end. So please, someone just note it in the chat. Let me just type it there. So please, someone remind me that we have a question to answer in the end, so that we can go back to it. So after the class, we then come and dissect this question and see what things we have, to put in place. So Samuel was going to say something before Arinze. Yeah. Samuel.
Okay. Yeah, what I actually understand about personal branding is, like I said before, I said that there's something unique, right? Or that makes you specific. What can I mean by personal branding? In my own base of understanding is personal branding simply means um doing something uh that is like, not like, let me just say, like doing something that makes you different from people, or that makes, like I said, makes you stand out from crowd, like I said.
I mean,
So that's what I actually understand by personal branding.
interesting. Thank you very
Yeah.
much, Samuel. So quick one before we move ahead. I'm going to just point out something that we are actually not all that different as human beings, as Nigerians, as Africans. We are actually not all that different. What makes us, in quotes, different is our uniqueness. So we are kind of the same, but we are just unique. And our uniqueness is what we leverage on. And then that's what we call personal branding, right? What you do consistently and intentionally to make yourself different. I'll come again. We are actually not all that different, but then the idea of personal branding is what we do consistently and intentionally to be different. Do you understand? I hope that clears the air. So I'm just going to be reading a short definition I've put together, and it should just give us an overview and a collection of all our ideas. I mean, every single thing everybody has said is valid, so I'm just going to put everything together into one sentence. Cool. Now, personal branding is the conscious and intentional effort. I mean, I already said this, to create a public, or to create and influence public perception. Now, let's take the first part, to create. Now, from what Kemisola said earlier on, she mentioned that, it's what you do that people see, and then they can label you for that. Or it could be an effort to influence public perception, right? And if you don't influence public perception about yourself, there is going to be one perception or several perceptions of you in people's minds. So Isaac is going to see Kemisola as, say, a talkative. I'm sorry, Kemisola, you are not. Is an example, all right? And then probably Samuel sees her as reserved. That's because, first off, Kemisola to me she talks a lot. Kemisola to Samuel doesn't really talk a lot. And she might be this guru at something that someone else knows that I don't know. So, I mean, people just have different perceptions about her. But that's actually not what we want here. We want you to be able to have, it might not be singular, but everybody or people who come in contact with you should be able to know you for something. Like there should be a common knowledge about you for every single person, right? So personal branding is a conscious and intentional effort. That means it takes work. It's conscious and it's intentional. It takes work to create and influence public perception of an individual by positioning them as an authority in their industry, elevating their credibility, and blah, 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 blah. The last part says increasing their circle of influence and have a larger impact. So if you are going to want to make impact, if you are going to want to, get to influence things in the public space or anywhere at all, you are going to have a solid personal brand, right? You're going to have to do stuff intentionally. It's going to take effort, it's going to take money, it's going to take a lot to build a personal brand. But it's something we need to do, right? So let's just move on and we can take this. Why do we need a personal brand? I mean, a lot of us have spoken, and from our definition of personal branding, we've actually talked on the whys, because of course you need to, get people to see you a certain way. If you hear Isaac, you should be hearing excellence. If you hear Isaac, you should be hearing punctual. I mean, I came before all of you, so I'm so sorry, but yeah, I came before all of you. Something like that. Yeah, you should. When you hear Isaac, what do you want to hear? When you hear Kemisola, what do you want people to? What image is dropping in their minds? When people call Elizabeth, when people call Samuel, what image are you dropping in their mind? Just when your name is mentioned, Balogun. I mean, someone just hears, oh, I know Balogun Mohammed. Somebody should be able to say something in that person's head about you that is common. They should be able to have a common image about you, right? So now, why personal branding? Number one, what I need you to understand is that as a person, you, Samuel Ige, you are a brand, right? Like, when we have Coke, Coca-Cola, and the likes of them, those are brands. We have Wise, that's a brand. We have GT Bank, like one of you mentioned, that's a brand. We have UBA. We have different sectors like this and different companies and their brand identity and their visual identity and how people see them and how people can relate with them. For Coke, it's something called sharing happiness. Yeah, that's something that they are known for. If you drink Coke, you should be happy. That's the message you're trying to sell, right? If for Wise, it's that you save, plan, and invest. Save, plan, and invest. Plan, save, and invest, rather, right? So you know that if you are using Wise, you're making your money work for you. That's the message you're selling. That's what they're selling to people. That's the image that is being sold. So we can understand as public individuals that once you can use a particular brand or you can associate yourself with a particular brand, then you are, in a way, you are conveying a message that they believe in, right? So you must see yourself first as a brand. You are a product. Okay, let's use that. Yeah, goods and service. I think that brings it home more closely, right? You're a brand. And there's a way people can see you, and there's a way people actually look at you. So it's either you have a good perception, either you have a good image, or you have a bad one. I mean, a good image would be somebody like Arinze, right? A bad image would probably be one of our politicians, of our politicians in this country. But that's by the way. So whatever you do today, tomorrow, or in the future has an effect on how people see you. So the way you relate with people, the way you talk to them, and the way you generally interact with them, has an effect. And number one thing why we need personal branding is trust, right? I believe that meeting someone for the first time, you can actually outrightly trust the person until they prove, otherwise. For some people, they don't trust until the person proves to be trustworthy. I, for one, just believe everybody's trustworthy. So until you break that trust, then we can go our separate ways and stuff like that. But trust, telling your story, who you are, why you do what you do, creates an avenue for people to actually feel comfortable with you. Yeah. So the more you talk about yourself, the more you talk about what you do, and not just talking about it, actually showing it, right? Don't just say it, don't just speak. Have, like a popular philosopher would say, show work it, right? It's not a philosopher, I'm just saying it, like, for jokes and bands. Yeah. So like, show workings, let people see what you have actually done. Maybe in the past, just have a track record of something. Yeah. Talk about what you do. Let people know that what you mean is genuine, and be authentic. Don't try to, Kemisola is not trying to be Elizabeth. Elizabeth is not trying to be Balogun. Do you understand? And Arinze is not trying to be Isaac. Arinze comes late to meetings, but like, he had to come early to this one because I'm so sorry, but that's by the way. Like, he doesn't come late to meetings. I'm just like using it as an example. So imagine Arinze comes late to meetings on a regular. That's something we know him for. So I can't trust Arinze to moderate an event for me. Let's put it that way. Now, Arinze might be very excellent at some other things that he does, but for meetings, I cannot trust him to moderate a meeting. So you see that the perception of people on how you do, on how you act and interact with people it leaves an impression, either good or bad. It leaves an impression. Speak up, sell yourself, right? This is the only way people get to know you per se, and then they get to connect with you, and then they can trust you, right? Everybody's not Isaac, so everybody's not going to trust you on the go. Uniqueness, you are different. You need to understand that the entire goal of personal branding is to be different. And like I've mentioned earlier, we are actually not all that different, but you need to be different. I don't know if that sinks in or if that's confusing a lot. Right? So you need to be different from other people. And a popular quote from Seth Godin says, don't be different just to be different. Be different to be better. Right? So if Isaac is doing something in a different way, I'm not doing it because I want people to see me and say, oh my God, look at what Isaac is doing. I mean, nobody has thought about this. Nobody has gone this direction or something like that. But I'm doing it because, first, I want to be a better person. And secondly, I want to make the world a better place. Right? And the next one I'm going to ask someone to read. Elizabeth. So I know that you're with me. Please read what you can see on the screen.
All right, good evening, sir. So
So you can just say good evening, Isaac.
Okay, good evening, Isaac. So what I can see on the screen is value. What boosts your value, attitude, skill sets, and your network?
So who wants to say something that they understand about how your attitude, boosts your value, or how your skill sets boost your value? So I'm going to take 3 people, so one for each. So how your attitude boosts your value, how your skill set boosts your value, and how your network boosts your value. Let me quickly go into the chat and see who is on the call. Kemisola, you're going to go for skill set. Young, you're going to go for attitude, and Yusuf, you're going to go for network. All right. So attitude. Young. Is Young still on this call?
Yes, I'm actually on this call. So I'm trying to put my thoughts together around attitude. Please. Can I gather my thoughts together, please?
All right, Kemisola, you should let's have Kemisola, then we'll come back to you. Is that fine? So Kemisola, skill set.
So your skill sets, how does it wait, what is it? How does it boost your value, or how does it boost your brand?
Yeah. How does it boost your
Yeah?
value?
Value. I
Yeah.
feel like it's a very major thing. People are not looking for someone that is empty or doesn't have what they want to take or learn from that person. Like, for instance, in an organization, you need people that have different skill sets. So you need someone that might be, let me say, a critical thinker, like person thinks very critically. You need someone in your analysis team, or you need someone that's a good public speaker. You can't just come and apply to an organization and just say, oh, I just graduated with my degree, and you don't have any, soft skills or hard skills that you have to present to anyone. So I feel like, okay, for someone that's even now it has public speaking skills, it shows confidence. Like, apart from public speaking on its own, it shows that you have confidence and other things aside that. So it builds your value. People want to see, oh, what can I, yes, it's not, it's quite, it may seem quite parasitic, but that's the reality of life. You want to see, oh, what can I benefit from you? Even in your relationships, you can't just, like, with your friends and everything, you can't just have someone that's, oh, you're not benefiting from this person cannot teach you anything, can't learn anything from that person. So it's like very, very essential for your value. You have to, it's one of the major things. You have to build yourself, self-development and everything. Your skill set really adds to your value
Yeah.
when you present yourself, when you're trying to present your brand. Your skill set, really adds a lot of value, because it's like, what exactly can you do with your hands? What exactly can you do with your brains? Stuff like that. So it's very, very essential.
Thank you. I like that. I like those two last questions. What exactly can you do with your hands, and what exactly can you do with your brains? Yeah, impressive. Thank you very much. Young. Young, if you are speaking, you are still muted.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was speaking on mute. Okay, so can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I believe that attitude is everything. Attitude is everything. Sometimes you might not have the skill set, but with your attitude, you can get value for what you want. Attitude is everything. Like, if you look at the spelling of attitude, you will see that at the end of the day, if you summarize everything together, it gives you 100%. Okay, so you need to put your attitude together. You need to be optimistic. You need to be very positive when you are pushing your business, your everything you are doing, everything about life is your attitude. Okay, I've worked in a customer service environment where sometimes it is not what you want to even offer them that is important, but your attitude on how you're even presenting the issue to them and the likes, and how you're trying to solve the issue to them, your attitude.
Yeah.
So attitude speaks a lot when it comes to value.
Yeah.
It's speaking. I cannot exhaust everything here. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Young. Yusuf, let's have you for the last point as network, how your network boosts your value. Hello, Yusuf. Good evening. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead because we don't have a lot of time anymore. So when we talk about value, is something, in other words, your worth. Yeah, how people. Let's bring it back home. Like, okay, I think we can just talk like what G's. Yeah. So how people rate you, basically. Like, if you say this guy no rates me, he probably doesn't see your value, right? That kind of thing. So how do you get people to rate you? Number one is your attitude. Number two is your skill set. Number three is your network, right? The way you behave, the way you react to things. It's one thing to have a problem. It's one thing to have a situation or an issue at hand. It's another thing to decide how you react to it, how you respond to it. Do you get? And having to build your skill set as well. People start shouting about 2 years ago that, learn a skill, learn a skill, learn a skill. It's as important as that is, it's actually super important, because after learning a skill, you don't just stop there. You have to keep growing. You have to keep evolving, right? In everything that you're doing, it doesn't stop there. Nobody learns a skill and has learned it all. we keep learning. So your skill set has a lot to do with how people, value you. Okay, you can imagine something like a social media manager, and then you're seeing the job description, and seeing some other things, something like let's say video editing is a plus. I mean, it doesn't mean that your exact job description is editing videos. It just means that, I mean, we're going to consider you first than somebody who just has the experience in social media marketing without video editing. It doesn't mean that that's what you're going to be doing all the days of the job. Do you get? So that also adds to your value. And if you're negotiating your salary, it's something that you can place on the table. When they ask what you bring to the table. So if you're a social media manager, that kind of thing, you can say, "Oh, I'm not just a social media manager. I have this particular skill and this particular skill that's going to help me in my role, and it's going to make my job easier, and also help me contribute, more to the success of the company's goals and stuff like that." That kind of thing. People are impressed. They're seeing all that you can do, and they are going to just have that feeling that, oh my God, this person is a good addition to the team. It's just something like that. And your network, how your network boosts your value is the kind of people you surround yourself with. So somebody like Arinze now, I know for a fact that if I'm in a room with Arinze, first things first, that place is never boring. Second things first, there's always going to be wisdom dropping. So I'm not coming to a meeting where Arinze is and I'm leaving without some words of wisdom. No, it's not going to happen. And not even whining. It's not even an example like that. Like, this is fact, right? If I'm in a room with Arinze, it's something that I always look forward to, or I always will look forward to, because it's a space where I get to learn new things in a very unexpected perspective, and it's really interesting to see, right? So another thing why we need to, have a personal brand is the kind of opportunities we want to attract, right? In everything we do, we need to act like what we are expecting, right? The way we behave is going to determine the kind of opportunities that come to us, right? The more you put out yourself the right way, and for me, I call it selling yourself, you are very much likely to attract or encounter amazing opportunities. And the kind of opportunities that will revolve around you are also depending on how effectively you've been able to add value to yourself. And remember, our values, what we talked about, adding value to yourself, is what? Your attitude, your skill set, and your network. So how good is your attitude? How robust is your skill set? And how intentional have you been in building your particular network? That's what's going to very much determine the kind of opportunities you attract, and if there are things that you want to pursue, or things that you do not want to pursue. Yeah. Now, what do you do? I would like one or two persons to unmute and answer this question. What do you do when opportunities come and you're not qualified? What do you do? What do you do? All right. I'm seeing a lot of people on the call, so I'm just going to call somebody. Okay, yeah, Debbie. Debbie, thank you very much. Yeah, you can unmute. Debbie, you can go. You can answer. What do you do when opportunities come and you're not qualified? Then Christiana Adekunle is going to go next.
Okay. What I do when opportunities come and I'm not qualified is I ask myself, who am I not qualified? Where is the issue really coming from? Is it my skill set, or is it I myself, maybe my mind, or my how I position myself, maybe my confidence level or my skill set? Then I try to work on it and go back to the drawing board and make sure that what are the things that is making me not qualified for this opportunity. Then carry on and
I love it. I
try
love
to.
it. Self-reflection.
Yes.
Mm. Yeah, self-reflection. That's a very important tool. Interesting. Yeah, Christiana. Yeah, Wasilat, I see you. I'm going to take you after Christiana. Hello, Christiana. All right. Wasila, just go. Wasila, can you hear me? You can just unmute. You are speaking, we cannot hear you. All right. So what you do, or what do you do when opportunities come and you are not qualified? And thank you very much, Debbie, for that. Self-reflection is one thing, and it's one way to go. For me, I believe, you have nothing to lose. Go for it regardless. The best or the worst you can get is a no, right? And then when you get a no, you should just know why. And then, like Debbie would do, you then go and do some self-reflections. Okay, why did I not, get this particular opportunity, or why did I not get in for this particular thing that I applied for, or I went for? You get that kind of thing. Now helps you analyze your steps and your processes that you took to get to that particular point, and then you can know what you did wrong and what to work on in the future. So self-reflection is a very, very important tool. Go for it, and then if and only if you did not get it, then you can do some self-reflection. If you get it, you should know that that thing you thought of that wasn't exactly qualifying you, you should actually work on it. Do you get? So don't just get there and then you are not doing excellent work because you fail to improve in a particular area. Somebody who gives you the job has seen something different, so like a potential to like achieve stuff and to do stuff. So don't throw it away by not working on yourself. How can you attract opportunities? Number one, sell yourself. We talked about that already. Sell yourself, speak about the things you are doing, do amazing work and talk about it, right? Expand your network. In expanding your network, it's not just sitting where you are and probably, let's say, connecting with people on LinkedIn and like that. As much as connecting with people on LinkedIn is very important, it's as important as also going out of your way to building a strong and a long-lasting connection with them, a relationship, right? Talk with people, get to know them. Attend events with people, conferences, seminars, and everything like that. And let's talk about elements of personal branding. Now, aside selling yourself and getting to grow your network or expanding your network, there's some key things we need to look at when it comes to personal branding. And one of them is your values. The earlier one we talked about is your value, like your worth. This is your values, what you stand for, what people will see, and then they can label you with. Yeah, people will see them no matter what. So if your values and your actions contradict, that's a blow up in your face. So they must align. Your values and your actions must align. Your passion, right? When we started talking earlier, I know Debbie, I know what's his name again? Somebody else mentioned how that they want to do great stuff in the public health space. And one of the things that that's Charles. Yeah, thank you very much. One of the things that gets you going is the passion for it. Yeah, you cannot just sit somewhere and say some things are not working. You have to get passionate about it. Some people say, work a particular job, then use the money you get to now fund your passion. But I dare say that you can actually get passionate about something you necessarily did not like initially. And you have to just be excellent at it. If you don't like your current job, it doesn't mean you should quit. In this economy, Sapa will kill you. You get? But then you can stay there. You can find something that is exciting around that particular thing you currently do and get passionate about it. Get passionate about it and do something, that changes the status quo or that challenges it, whichever way you choose to take it. Your attributes, let people know you for something. And like I would say, it's something good, of course. Like, we're not preaching bad things here. So let people know you for something. Let there be something that signifies that this person is unique. Your experience as well. We talked about the social media stuff, how that you have to have, some subtle skills hand in hand to particular roles like that. You get? So you don't necessarily need to be working to gain experience. And what do I mean by this? You can volunteer. You can be in your room and then all you are doing is replying some messages, and then all you are going to be doing is you can say you've done this particular thing, you've worked in this particular place, and stuff like that. So you can just volunteer for stuff and make sure you give it your 100%. Your behavior, your attitude. We talked about this in values already. Your goals. These are elements of personal branding. These are things that come together to making sure you have a strong personal brand. Your goals, set smart goals. They keep you focused. Okay, if you want to hit 500 new followers on LinkedIn, what are the things you put in place? I am sure that the first speaker already did justice to that. So you have that in your pocket already. So set goals that are realistic, that are smart. Don't say you started social media management today, and then you're saying in the next 2 months you want to be a senior social media manager. I'm sorry, I like how passionate you are, but it's not realistic, right? Like, it's from where to where now, it's not realistic, right? So set, goals that are realistic. Most importantly, your skill sets, we've talked about this. Learn a hard skill, learn soft skills as well. Emotional intelligence, learn critical thinking, and other soft skills like that, that also adds to you as a person. So this particular session is directed as your personality rather than the actual, talking about money, 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 money. Because it's when you are a good person that money will stay like that, and it's going to be very much useful for you. I know some of you might like disagree, but that's what I personally believe. And if you don't believe it, then it's fine, it's okay. So I just believe that if you're a good person, you do things the normal way it should be done. You treat people right, you have a good attitude towards other people, you have integrity, and then money starts coming in. It's not money that's going to be controlling you, you're going to actually control money. So money doesn't actually determine the kind of behavior you put out. I don't know if you're getting it. And then your appearance. Somebody said something about outlook initially when we're defining personal branding, about how you dress, and people are known by how they dress. Very much true. And it is here, your appearance does a whole lot for you. And I wrote here, you really do not need the whole world's bank to look good. Just be simple, and also smell nice too. It's really important that you smell nice. You don't want to chase people away from you, right? So now let's just recap and go back to about 15-20 slides before, and let's share what we've learned so far randomly. But raise up your hands, so I'll call people randomly. Oh, Young, that's fine. You will have the recording of the meeting afterwards. All right, I'm just going to call names. Kemisola, Elizabeth. So in that order, Kemisola, Elizabeth, Samuel, Charles, Debbie. Yeah, let's go. Kemi.
What have I learned? I've learned a lot in this meeting. I've learned that personal branding is very, very important. And then, money is not actually, the I don't know, your attitude and your brand actually is what, and your value is what, attracts money, and not just, just thinking about money, 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 money. Is what you do, who you are, that attracts money. And then it's very important to work on yourself. And there's something that I would normally like to say is be literally obsessed with self-development, determining regardless of, no, putting in perspective, putting in place where you're headed. If you're headed in, finance sector, health sector, always be, developing yourself towards where you want to be in life. So that's one thing I learned.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Kemisola. Elizabeth.
Okay, so I've learned a lot in today's class. So from what I learned, we were talking about personal branding is us like differentiating ourselves, and also our uniqueness differentiate us too. And we also said that we should also like sell ourselves and connect with people, even much as we are connecting with people on LinkedIn or other social media platforms. You should get to know them, and you also your values, your skill set, your attitude. And lastly, we're talking about appearance. Your appearance to matters. It doesn't break a bank for you to dress well. That's what I again today.
Amazing. Thank you very much for paying attention. Really means a lot. Thank you. Samuel.
Yeah, I actually learned a lot today from today's training. What I actually learned is about that we actually need to personally develop ourselves in terms of attitude, skills, and network, because your attitude and your value actually will actually expose you to more opportunities. And like you also said that we need to actually sell ourselves, like knowing how to sell ourselves, that we can actually get more opportunities out there. And also talk about whenever we face some opportunities and we think we're not qualified for it, the best option is about going for it no matter what. And we don't actually need the experience to be able to do some kind of things. While doing, we actually personally develop ourselves.
Love it. Thank you very much. Means a lot. Debbie.
Okay, what that I learned a lot, and but there is one thing that my mind is very conscious of, is on the part of think to the question you asked me concerning if I see an opportunity and I'm not qualified. You said go for it. So that's as much as I'm wallowing in self-doubt, I should still go for it. And the worst I can get is the no. Thank you very much, Isaac, for today's section.
Thank you very much, Debbie. Charles.
Okay, great man. Okay, so I learned a lot. First of all, about being intentional with people. That is, make your actions, let them be authentic and genuine, because only that way you can actually build trust. And also, I learned about how to boost your words, your values, which is through your attitude, your skill set, and also your network. And then the question that you threw out, what do you do when opportunity comes and you're not qualified? For me, it's about trying, because sometimes you might be surprised that your willingness to learn might actually impress the recruiter, and you can actually even get the opportunity there. And even if you don't, you could just take a step back and then see, okay, what am I lacking? Is it my skills? Is it my experience? And then I will try to work on that. And then also on the elements of personal branding as well, the importance of passion and also your values, and then skill sets as well. Yeah, because there's one thing I say, that change, the only constant thing in the world is change, and the world is constantly improving. So you always ensure that your skill set is always updated to like the market standard. And then about your appearance, try to, as much as possible, look comfortable, look pleasing, to the eye. So that's just a few things I've built.
Thank you very much, Charles. Thank you, Kemi Sola. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Charles. Really important that we all pay attention. And it's very interesting that I see that you guys are actually paying, rapt attention. Thank you very much. Means a lot. Yeah. So we've talked about what branding is. We talked about what personal branding is, why we need to have a personal brand, and the things that are needed in having a personal brand. Now let's talk about building your personal brand, right? Now, after we've had this similar or this seeming element of personal branding, how do you exactly now build your personal brand? The first thing I would recommend is that you perform a SWOT analysis of yourself, right? So I'm just going to paste this link in the chat, and then every single person, you're going to take this particular survey, and then you are going to do it and share the results on the group chat. That'll be like an assignment. So give me a minute. I'm just going to stop sharing because I cannot copy from here. All right. So everybody's meant to copy that link and go take that particular test. So perform a SWOT analysis. What is a SWOT analysis for people who don't know what it is? It's a strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats analysis about yourself. So there are three things this helps you, this helps you do, or it gives you three major decisions to make for your life. It tells you what to stop doing as a person. It tells you what to start doing as a person. And then it also tells you what to continue doing as a person, right? So you get to know your strengths, you get to know your weaknesses, your strengths, things you can leverage, your weaknesses, things you can work on, opportunities, things your strength and working on your weaknesses is going to, attract or pose to you. And then your threats are attitudes or kind of seemingly behaviors that you exhibit that is stopping you from, maybe getting opportunities or developing your weaknesses, or that is going to make maybe one or two of your strengths, go in a downside manner, sort of. And then the next thing to do is find ways to widen your network. See, you cannot do life alone. It's I don't know. It's even introverts know this. You can't do life alone, right? So go out, attend conferences, seminars, webinars, volunteer. Don't just do this. And if you're going to attend an event, I'd really like that you attend it with your whole mind, like participating every session, talk. Well, on this particular session now, and just about 10% of the people here are talking. Participate in them actively. Try to meet at least one person from every single place you go to. So if you go for an event today, meet at least one person. Yes, Samuel, I'll take your questions after. And if you go for a conference, meet somebody, get their contact, increase your network. Do you get? Follow up with the person, not just get their contact and you guys just turn to status viewers and stuff like that. Get to know them. Oh, how can we work together? What projects are you working on? I can volunteer my time. I mean, I'm a designer, you're a content writer, you're a content marketer, you're a social media manager. Oh, I can manage you're building a startup. I can manage your social media for free. I mean, number one, it widens your network. Number two, it adds to your portfolio. Number three, adds to your experience. Number four, you also get to learn in a new team and different things like that, right? Now, understand your value. Know what. I can't seem to see any test. So if you it's an article. So if you go down, you're going to see the actual link to the test. Yeah. So let me see if I can just get the direct link. And I'm going to share it later on the group. So put value on yourself. You are worth more than you think. Don't let people talk to you anyhow. I understand that there's a lot going around with, Gen Z this, Gen Z that in the workplace and workspace and all of that. But as much as those things are actually true, which is something we all need to work on as Gen Zs, we also should, will I say don't take nonsense? Something like that, right? When toxicity is showing its face or showing its ugly head, you learn to put it in its place and everything. Don't let people just treat you for like trash or something. And sell yourself. Do not only tell it, like I said earlier, show workings. People connect with people based on results. People stay with people based on results. And I wrote here, you should create a platform where people can see what you accomplishments as they give you credibility, right? No matter how little. See, if you take a course today and you get certified today, post it. talk about it, carry it on your head. It's your business. See, nobody's going to come and carry your business for you on their heads, right? So do it for yourself. Talk about it. And I said people can't connect with you if they don't know where to find you. So be present on at least one social media platform. I understand you don't like WhatsApp. I understand you don't like Twitter. I understand you don't like Instagram. But please, for the sake of your, career or something, please get one at least and be engaged in it. LinkedIn, maybe very corporate person, and posts, like put things out there, let people know what you do, write articles about your UI designer, write articles about use cases that you've done and user experience flow, all those kind of things, maybe color theory, typography, just do things like that and put it out there, right? Thank you very much. It's been an amazing delight to be speaking or to have spoken to young, brilliant minds here. And right about now, I'm going to be taking questions. So if you have questions, you can just raise your hands. You can type in the chats, and then we can take it up from there.
All right, so we got to the question round. Please let's ask the question. I also have questions, so I think I want to start with that one I threw earlier that you threw back to the chat. I heard what I forgot who said that, but she said that our personal brand also includes what we don't do, right? When we do stuff, we define the perception that people have of us. And when we don't do anything, in a way, there's already a brand that there is of us by not doing anything, right? And that's why I just like, can we now imply that failure to brand is already branding itself that fails? Sort of. So yeah, I don't know if you could maybe pick it from there. Then we can also stay on that and ask more questions.
All right, I would like to hear people's opinions actually. So is failure to brand meaning branding to fail? So if you look at the charts, that's the thing that is pinned to the chart. So yeah. Is failure to brand, when you fail to have a personal brand, does that mean that, you are setting yourself up for failure? Elizabeth. Then Kemisola and Olaide. Yeah. So I'm going to take 3 of you. Let's just hear your views. In 1 minute, just shrink your ideas in 1 minute. Elizabeth, Kemisola, and Olaide. Any one of you can go first.
Okay, so I think your personal branding has a lot to do with your identity and who you are. I feel like if you're on this earth and you don't know who you are, you don't know what you are here to do, it will very much interfere with your personal branding. You won't have a reason to do what you're doing. You won't have a reason to, not do what you don't want to do. There is a lot of it that has to do with identity. So I feel like if you don't know your identity, then you can't have a brand. And if you do not have a brand, then no, if you don't have a brand, it means you most certainly do not have an identity, or you don't yet know your identity. And if you don't yet know your identity or what you're here to do, then you are probably already failing, because people are here on earth doing what they think they are meant to do, and then they try to link what they are doing with their branding. So your branding, you can't just do anything at any time. It's very specific to who you are and what you want to be seen as. So I think identity is a major factor in branding and branding to feel, failing to brand and branding to feel.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Kemisola. Elizabeth, are you ready to speak now? Olaide, are you ready to speak now? Let me hear Olaide. I think I've not heard Olaide today. So yeah, let Olaide go first.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Thank you.
So the question is, if someone doesn't have a personal brand, right, does that mean that they have set themselves up for failure?
Yeah, absolutely. I can confirm to you. In the last 4 hours, I just checked through an opportunity, and they keep asking for your social media link. What that tells is that, irrespective of whatever you are pushing and the engagement you are looking at, they will do that through your digital footprint. They will check you up, and if it is not, if you cannot complement whatever you write up or whatever your CV or whatever packaging you've sent to them, it's going to be a total failure. So we need to be deliberate and be conscious in what we are putting on social media, and also build our brand through that, because
Um,
that will be the second level check for either recruiter, partnership, and what have you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Olaide. That's very profound. Amazing. And I'm glad you checked me out already too. Yeah. Elizabeth, do you understand the question now?
Yes, sir. Okay,
Yeah. All
so
right. So
so yes, if someone does not have like an identity as or building a personal brand, the person is setting up himself for failure, because like if you're applying for jobs now, most of them will asking you for like your social media account. And I've seen a situation when someone just go online on Google, especially to just look up my name, like, and see whether like I have a personal brand online. So it's just somebody should like push oneself out there and have a strong personal brand.
thank you very much. So we all are agreeing that the answer to that question is a yes. So if someone is failing to build their personal brand, then they're automatically setting themselves up, to fail. And it's not necessarily failure in what they actually do, like their work. It's just failure in how they are creating an idea of who they are in people's minds. So like they failed in that aspect, right? That's what we're saying, correct? Yes, that's what we're saying. All right. So, any other question? Any questions?
Please just ask questions. I know you have them. I just like wondering whether I should ask them or not. Yes, you should ask them. So let's have them. Uh, Marvelous, do you
Yeah,
have
Arinze,
questions?
please let me coordinate the questions. Thank you.
All right. The Marvelous, do you have questions? Uh, Charles, you should have questions. Uh, if you have questions, just unmute and go ahead and ask. You don't have anything. Mr. Lady, please go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. So I don't know. I think if I'm not mistaken, I had somebody saying that what we put on social media does not matter and does not affect our personal brand. I don't know. But my view, the point I made earlier is to speak to, irrespective of the organization that's beyond, the director or somebody from the top place. So for short, hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Keep
For
going.
Yeah, for short term and long term collaboration opportunity and ability to do things, we need to be deliberate with what we put on our social media,
Yeah.
because that's where, and that's why people, despite the fact that people believe that generally there's that mentality that LinkedIn is professional. Other also are, because people will do beyond LinkedIn too. But it's very simple that this day, by the time on generative AI, by the time they put your name, every social media attached to you is going to pop things up, and then it's for me, it's a big things that just need to be deliberate and know what we put on social media in
Very
building
much,
our brand.
Olaide. Pretty much profound. And that's very correct. I don't recall someone saying that anyway, but then really, really appreciate your contribution to that. Thank you very much.
All right. So I want to ask a question, Isaac.
All right, go
Um,
ahead.
the perspective of personal branding that we looked at today, came from a very holistic point of view where we learn about personal branding from a place of the value, how people define you, your values, the value you bring on the table, and stuff like that. But I don't know if you could also come to it from a place of, actually building visibility, building an audience. So now that we already have a value system, we already have those things defined. We've determined how we want people to perceive us in the way that we represent ourselves online. How do we now grow the visibility of that brand that we have created? What's the method to growing my brand as a creative designer on Instagram? Because I just noticed that platform is like only people that do comedy skits have all the likes in the world. So
All right. All
when
right.
I would post out there, how do I grow my accounts? Like this kind of stuff.
Okay. So now for some, I'm going to be using myself as an example. Yeah. So for someone like me, I compartment Jesus, that was intentional. I just basically break my social media into compartments and make sure that individual social media accounts are telling different stories. Right. So if you go to my Instagram, you are not going to see so to speak a tech bro. You're not going to see that. Like, that's not the image I want you to see there. What I want you to see there is someone who is just living his life and sharing what he can by the day. Do you get? So I just share stuff there. So on Twitter, I want you to see some other image or some other thing. That's where I have more of my like designer kind of thing come out. For LinkedIn, it's purely corporate. I talk about personal branding, I talk about communication, networking, and the likes there, and also design. Yeah. So in you've done the entire value system and building, like I put out earlier, show it, tell it. You have to just, you can't just build these systems and keep them to yourself. You have to tell it, right? So you just pick a social media. I think I already answered this question actually. Pick a social media that you're comfortable with. Always speak, like talk about it, talk about what you do, talk about things around what you do, and just make sure people are hearing you say something. Did I answer your question, Arinze?
Pick a social media platform and make sure people are always hearing you say something.
Yeah.
All right. So a follow-up question to that would be, those people that really, really grow into like massive followers. So are you saying it's just the consistency? Really? So if I go and just get consistent now, I'll be like wasabi.
So one, it's not just consistency. Christian, I see your hands raised. Sorry, but let me finish that, Arinze. Now, keep your hands raised so I don't forget. So number one, you have to be consistent, yes. And number two, you have to deliver value, right? People have to be gaining something from what you're putting out. You can't just come and put out. And the funny thing is, anything goes, anything actually like sells in this country. You can come and tell me how to sweep your house effectively, and people are going to watch it. Trust me. Do you get? It's not exactly adding value to people in a way that we see, but when it comes to humor, now they are benefiting from it. Do you get? So you just have to find something that you want to actually put out there. You have to define the message that you want to pass. So when you get the message you want to pass, then you have to come in a way that, okay, how do I pass this message? Is it through comedy skits? Is it through sitting in front of camera and doing this particular thing, just headlong? Is it me going out on the road, sharing flyers and saying, do this and do that kind of thing? Then you just have to look at your method of passing the particular message. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, sure, it does. Christian can go ahead.
Hello, Christian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. I actually have a question to ask, sir.
All right, sure.
Okay. The question that I have to ask is that on my social media page, both on Instagram and Facebook, though I've already set it up well, I mean professionally, but the main thing is that I don't know what I can be posting on it like all the time, like which will speak more about what I do, sir.
Interesting. Thank you very much for the question. What do you do?
I'm actually a freelancer. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you freelance in?
I'm a website designer.
You're a website designer. Amazing.
Yeah.
Do you work on projects randomly? Do you just pick
Yeah.
something just comes to your head and then you just design?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Are you seeing where I'm going to now? So
Okay.
let's say you're going on the road and then you see somebody who was walking his dog and then you see the dog limping. And then the idea just pops in your head that, my God, I could create a website that talks about, the health of dogs particularly. And then you just go to your drawing board, you do your low-fi design, you do your mid-fi design, you do your hi-fi design, and then everything just comes, and then you just pick up that project, and in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you are done with that particular project. Do you just keep it? Now
No.
that's why I come in when I say you tell it, you show it, right? Just go around it. It may be 2 paragraphs you just write. And I mean, go on Behance, go on Dribble, look at how people type out case studies, right? And then do the same thing. Just replicate it. So talk about the particular idea, talk about what you saw, put it in writing, in words. Do you understand? And then, I mean, before you know it, you're posting 10 times in a month and the likes like that. So every single thing you do, even if it is just 2 screens that you designed, put it out there.
Okay. Okay. I get you now. Thanks so much, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Sir.
So just to also say something extra to how Isaac has responded to that question. You are putting something out there, first of all, out of the personal branding system in code, because that's what we've learned in class today, right? That you have created. One. And two, towards the kind of interactions you want to attract. I want people to give me a gig with respect to website design. As you're putting content from here to here, from my branding system towards attracting gigs in website design and stuff. So now, talk about the project you designed. Maybe it took you 3 weeks. Instead of waiting for the end of the project before you now post about the project, you could also post about your design process. I think he does this stuff. I didn't even realize it up until recently, right? He does this stuff where he does once in a while. He just comes up with this idea for what's this called, wallpapers, right? He has like this Christian wallpapers that he just designs and then makes the drive link available publicly. And I just like, oh, cooking something. I was like, oh, this guy cooking again. And then like, this is almost ready, almost ready. Now because I see 1, 2, 3, now I'm like I'm very anxious. Like, okay, what's it gonna look like now? What's it gonna? I'm just anticipating. And once I see his status is up again, I just go and check. Is it out? Is it out? You can create that form and then people follow you. People see your process. And there's something Miracle said during our session. People want to see you start something and complete it. And if they can see you start stuff and complete it over and over again, you build trust. And remember, I talked about trust in presentation today, right? So the more you can start your process publicly, end your process publicly, you have more content to post about. You show people your process, your work process. And beyond that, you are building trust because people can see the entire stuff. Then something else you can add to that is, since you are just doing stuff around website design, it's not every time you're going to have the opportunity to build a new project, right? So you could just write about stuff around building good websites, well-designed websites. These are tips you should pay attention to when designing a good website. Things you should not do. Anything that can be of value to anybody who wants to create a website or design a website, such that the next time they're thinking about designing a new website, they think of you, right? You have gained mind share from them already, and then it becomes easier for them to convert and bring that opportunity to your table. But yeah, Isaac answered that well, and then you can see that everything still falls in the same line. So yeah, more questions, please.
All
Thank
right.
you, sir.
Yeah, let me chip in something that I think everybody's going to benefit from. And it's more like a reminder. When you're looking at things to post, and it's going to maybe be shocking to some people, to be honest, there is nothing new that you want to post that has not been posted before. Like nothing new. The only way it's going to be new is because it's in your words, right? So if Christiana is going to talk about what a website should look like, trust me, there are thousands of articles on what a website should look like, but that should not discourage you because they've not heard you particularly talk about it. So you just have to go digest these articles, have a deep understanding on how a website should be designed. I'm just picking a random topic, so just apply this in every other place of your life. So how a website should be designed, understand this deeply, now come and write it in your own words. Now that's where the new thing comes in. You get, the idea is not new, but the delivery is new. Thank you.
All right, I want to give room to take one more question. I think that'll be Balogun. Balogun, let's go ahead.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this session. Good evening, all. Actually, the last thing you made mention of is one of the things that I struggle with most of the time. That there are a lot of content out there, and I think it's just like just repeating someone's word, that just for the sake of writing, just putting things out there. So to be unique and to really make an impact. So I struggle with it a lot. Do I need to write this again? Someone is already written about it already. So but what you said now, it really actually touched on that point. Thank you.
Isaac, I don't know if you want to like maybe still say that same thing, but maybe with further examples so people can like have it sink in, because that's just the truth. If someone else is saying something, you don't even know how many followers they have. Okay, let's say they have 5,000 followers. You know, people on Instagram, like 2 billion people, bro, maybe 3 billion people. What's the number? Do you think the whole 3 billion has seen it? And then it's your own voice. I don't know. I think we could maybe just restate that fact again, maybe with any other example, so it just sits more.
All right. Thank you very much, Balogun, and I'm glad that the statement hits home. That you now get a different and a fresh perspective to writing or putting out stuff, where it really doesn't have to be a new idea, but the delivery is new. Now think of it this way: I create content and I create video content. I also write on LinkedIn. I write blogs and articles on LinkedIn. Now, if I see something that interests me and I see that, oh, this is going to be a learning path for my audience, and this is someone's article, now I, as a video creator or as a content creator, can now say, putting that particular thing in my video, referencing the writer, then talking about it more. Do you understand? So first, I have passed an original idea, referencing that person. So it's not, you already know that it's not old, but then you've seen that I referenced something. Now you are glued to listen to what I have to say concerning that particular thing. So you see how you are going to drive your audience to still listen to you. You are still speaking on the same thing, but they've not just heard you speak it, heard you talk about it. So that's the difference, and that's what makes it new. You make it new.
And then just one more thing in that regard. You also have to realize that people are being born every day. There are some sort of people that just finished secondary school this year, or some cohort of people just finished secondary school this year. Some cohort of people just finished university this year. Now there's this OG content creator, maybe he teaches about marketing 101 or personal branding 101, and you just felt like, I've said this. If you want to know about this, you're the one, and you've not heard me say it, you're the one that is not listening. Go to my profile, scroll down. But bro, this other guy just finished uni and he just wants to start taking his life seriously, right? And now he's just new on Instagram or new on LinkedIn, and it's like, okay, who's gonna teach me? Now the OG guys feels like they've oversaid it, but this guy is new and he's never heard it before. You can be the one that serves the upcoming cohort. Think about it that way, right? There are people who are new to the platform, and those things that those like think of it. What's the thing that maybe entrepreneurs of today are saying today that Steve Jobs probably did not see when he was alive? But Steve Jobs is no longer here to keep on saying it. And don't forget that we learn stuff and really take them home by repetition, right? Yeah, there's some stuff we've heard, but we never hear them enough. Just like whenever you watch a motivational video, you can play like 15 times. But it's the motivational video that you've had somewhere in your mind before. It's not something new, but you just need the energy again for that moment. You can be the account, you can be the profile, you can be the voice that provides that source of motivation, renewed, refreshed every day for them through your social media content, right? So again, like that's subject cannot be overemphasized, right? Thanks so much for that question, Balogun. Was it Balogun that asked question? Like, how do I get content ideas? And thank you so much, Isaac, for that answer. The same thing again and again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So yeah, I have to drop off now.
Yes,
thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me. Everybody, thank you so much for receiving me here. And I really hope that you have a takeaway from here and it makes your life better and also, gets you started and or continued in your work, day-to-day work. Yeah. Cheers, everyone. Bye.
All right. So guys, thank you so much, Isaac, for that awesome session. I really learned a lot. I think that the big one for me was the way he explained the concept of personal branding away from just a pursuit of visibility and followers, right? The personal branding system, I like how he explained that. I think that was very, very profound. So something we're going to do, since Isaac's not on this call, please can you just write a sentence or two what you learned from the session and like, hey, thank you, Isaac, and just send it to the WhatsApp group chat, not this chat. Why? Isaac cannot see it here, right? Those reviews are very important for instructors whenever they take out time. Now you took out time to create those slides, took out time to be in this meeting. You can see he's rushing out of this meeting because he has another engagement he has to be in. But yet he still agreed to be here. So please can we write out our reviews? I'll be checking it on the WhatsApp group chat and I'll be reading them live so we can know that okay, some people are saying them. All right. So yeah. I'm in the group chat and I'm checking. What did you learn? 1-2 sentences that you learned from the class. And yeah, any thank you statement for Isaac so he can say it. And when you are writing it, you can tag him. Let me just tag him on the group chat so that you can see his number. So I just tag him so you can see his number. So please let's write reviews. Right. I'm waiting. I'm still looking forward to them. And while we're at that, the final session for this bootcamp is happening tomorrow. We'll be having Hilary Remy talking to us about sales and negotiation techniques to closing gigs. So now you already know how to build your visibility. You already have ideas on what kind of content to post. You have already decided in your heart that you're going to be posting consistently, right? And now people are noticing your brand. People want to work with you. Now someone slides into your DM and says, hey, I'd like to work with you on this project. How do you close that deal? How do you take that from interest into paid money paid into your account? How do you draft an invoice? All those stuffs in between, right? So going from an interested client to someone who has paid you and service well delivered. But those stuff we're going to be learning tomorrow. Same time, 7 p.m., 8:30 p.m. The instructor of the session is someone that's like very, very good at what he does. He managed to come to has about 10,000 plus people. So like he's the best at it, right? So please, let's be punctual for tomorrow's session. I'm checking the WhatsApp group and there's nothing there yet. Guys, what's up now? Please, I mean, if just 2-3, that's been fine. Can we like give a review for Isaac? I mean, it's a culture, right? Just because he dropped off the call already, we would have done it on the Google Meet chat, right? So please, let's not throw that culture. Can we write a review? What do you learn? Something you learned, and then a thank you statement for Isaac. Check out his time to be here to just walk us through the session. And the session was really, really awesome. I learned a lot of stuff. And personally, I was thinking I was going to take it from a perspective of just the visibility and the numbers, but I like how I was able to settle our mind into what personal branding really is, defining our value system, what value do we bring to the table, and all of those stuff. I think that was really, really awesome. Right, so let's just appreciate Isaac in the WhatsApp group chat. Please, please. All right, I see Veronica. Thank you very much. I learned a lot too. Yeah. All right, please. I'm not going to drop off this course. I can get maybe 2 more. Oh, you don't look that one. All right, so that'll be all for this session. Thank you for those of you that have typed. Thank you for those of you that are typing. Please looking forward to tomorrow's session. And please, you can still continue your posting on LinkedIn. Please go and be visible. Tell people about the services you offer, the way they can engage you, how you can be of value to them. Go ahead on LinkedIn, make a post about yourself and about your services, right? And when you make this post, just share the link on the group chat. You can also tag us on the post so we can see it easily, like it, and all of that stuff, right? Can I be added to the group chat? So I'm going to send you a quick link on the chat here, bit.ly /tab bootcamp. All right, so just copy the link and then the link should lead you to the group chat. Jimmy, confirm that you have seen it and copied it. All right, awesome. So I think that'll be all. Thank you all for joining session and staying to the end. I'll see you tomorrow by 7 p.m. Bye. Can we meet and say bye, Sansen?